Hello everybody, and welcome to our series that explores every single tool in the myCADtools suite. Today we're going to be taking a look at the CleanProject tool. The CleanProject tool helps you keep all of your assemblies and directories associated with that assembly clean. Why you might need this tool is that in the creation of assemblies or even just working on many different projects, sometimes files that have no association with that assembly at all end up in a folder and can sometimes slow down your workflow or confuse the situation. And if we take a look at their little explanation here, in every project there is a byproduct of tens or hundreds of files which do not have any relevance to the latest assembly. These files can cause error and uncertainty. The CleanProject tool allows you to move these files and save your disk space. Pretty straightforward. So what the CleanProject tool does is it cleans the contents of a project folder. You can select and move all the files not related to the specified projects to a different directory. Some of the key features of this tool are that it automatically detects dependencies. It lists and sorts the elements to be saved and the elements to be moved to a temporary folder. It filters by extension to the moved elements, and it allows for selection of one or more assemblies. So this is one of those tools that has a singular function, but it's a very powerful and helpful tool, especially if you have a folder filled with documents that aren't necessarily associated with the assembly that you're looking to work with. So let's take a look at how it works. So again, this is one of those tools that doesn't require SolidWorks to be open to work. So I'm just going to go down to our Start menu and type in CleanProject. And you can see it's the only one that comes up, so I'll click on it. And then our CleanProject tool opens right up. What I really like about this tool is the simplicity. There's basically two screens, and the first one is the selection screen with a few different options. So right up here under Assembly Location, this is where we select the actual assembly that we want to filter away any unnecessary files. So to do that, we just go ahead and navigate to our assembly. I have it opened up right here. It's in this robot arm file folder. However, before I select it, I want to show you that there's a lot of different things in this top level folder, robot arm. I've gone ahead and added a few different folders and even a different assembly altogether just to show you how it works. But the assembly that we want to work with is in the robot arm assembly subfolder, and it's right here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that. We also have the ability to delete. If we want to get rid of that assembly, just hit the red X and it disappears. However, we'll add it and keep going. We can also add multiple assemblies just by clicking this again, and let's say we wanted to add the backup as well, and then you'll see that both of those are right in this file location selector. However, I'm going to just select the one assembly right now to keep it simple. I'll delete that one and leave the one. So next we have the folder to clean. I added this folder in here before, but you can add the file folder. But you can add folders just by clicking on the ellipses over here and navigate to the folder that you need. However, this is the folder, the robot arm. However, I'm actually going to delete this last bit, the robot arm assembly subfolder, and keep it the main robot arm folder. And that's just this folder right here. So everything not associated with the robot arm, these drawings, this duplicate of the robot arm assembly, and this plunger assembly, which has nothing to do with the robot arm at all, will all be filtered out. So next we have some search options. We have add external references of part and add drawings. If we deselect both of these, then the external references of the part and any drawings won't be involved in the search criteria. So we'll just go ahead and leave those clicked. And then next under general options, we have some folder options and file management options. We can specify the number of folders that we want to clean that include that assembly location. I'm just going to go ahead and leave this down at 0. And then under that we have the folder name of move filed, and you can change this to whatever you'd like. This is the actual folder where any non-essential files to that assembly will be moved. So we can just leave it as CleanProject for this example. And for file management, we have a list of file extensions to manage. Right now, just .sld with the asterisk means that every single SolidWorks file, including parts, assemblies, and drawings. But if you do want to exclude one of those, then you can delete the asterisk and have .sldprt separated by a comma, .sldasm, and that way we would exclude drawings from the list of files to manage. I'm just going to go ahead and put it back to SLD with the asterisk. That way all three file types are managed. And once we have all of this information in here entered correctly, then we click Next, and that takes us to our second screen. And in this screen we have the saved items, and we can either view it as the assembly tree or as the actual files with their locations next to it. There's nothing to actually do to these file names here other than just view what they are and where they are located if you'd like, but you can't edit anything from this screen. But over here on the moved items, this is where you can go through and manually select any of these files that you don't want to move. By default, every single one is checked. But if you knew, for example, that you wanted the first 4 to stay, then by deselecting these first 4, they would not be moved over to that clean project file folder that we are specifying down here. But there's no reason to do that for our example. We'll just leave them all selected. And on the bottom we have the location of the displaced elements. As I mentioned before, this is the Clean Project folder that we specified earlier. By default, it'll put that Clean Project new folder inside of the robot arm folder. But if you do want to change it, you can basically put it anywhere you'd like. You could put it on the desktop or navigate to anywhere else and put that folder wherever you'd like. In my opinion, it's a good idea to keep that newly created folder kind of close to the original folder, just in case you want to navigate between the two. But that's completely up to your own preference. So once we cruise through this list and make sure that these are all of the parts, and so once we cruise through the list and make sure that these are all of the SolidWorks files that we want kept inside that folder, and make sure that these are all the ones that we want eliminated from that folder, then we can just go ahead and click Finish. We get a warning saying, are you sure you want to move all of the elements checked in this list, move items to this folder? Warning, if moved files were linked to other projects, then the references will be broken. So yes, that's all good. We'll go ahead and click Yes, and it finished processing. And now when we go back into that folder, you can see the robot arm assembly is inside of its own folder with no extraneous files, and all of those files that were moved are in the Clean Project folder that was created using the Clean Project tool. Everything is here. We have that duplicate robot assembly, we have the plunger assembly that I added just as a reference, and we have these backups and the myPlunger assembly. So a really easy tool to use, and one that's really helpful if you need to clean up extraneous files that show up in your assembly file folders. Like I said, this is a pretty straightforward tool, but if you do have any questions, please feel free to email us at solidworksupport@mlc-cad.com, and we'll see you next time.